With the upcoming WWE and AAA cross-promotion pay-per-view, I thought it would be a perfect time for me to make my own cross-promotion pay-per-view. Now, with AEW currently being back on fire with the recent Double or Nothing pay-per-view, I thought it would be great timing to do WWE versus AEW cross-promotion fantasy booking. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have 16 matches overall for a 2-night event spectacular live from Wembley Stadium. So let's jump right in with night one's opening matchup. So throughout the video you're going to notice that I have kept all of the same current champions as real life just for consistency purposes, apart from one, and you'll notice it right away. So I have Seth Rollins as the World Heavyweight Champion instead of Jey Uso. Now in my fantasy land this pay-per-view would happen after SummerSlam, and I think that Jey Uso will lose to Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Now also, I just kind of really want to run Seth Rollins versus Jon Moxley. I think it would be perfect. AEW World Champion Moxley versus World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. It's non-title, but it would be a great opener to the show. Now, with this video, you're going to notice that a lot of my predictions are very different to what your usual predictions would be, and by usual predictions I mean stuff like people saying CM Punk versus Kenny Omega. So spoiler alert, that match isn't on this, but I think I have two better ones for each men respectively. But here we have Darby Allin versus Sheamus. This is another one that a lot of people won't have on fantasy cards, but I think this match would have the potential to be really hard hitting. Darby would be taking crazy bumps for Sheamus, and I think that their styles would just complement each other really well, and it would be a fantastic. Now next up we have the first women's match of the fantasy card, and it is for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We have Lyra Valkyria defending against AEW's Jamie Hayter. Now this is another match where I think that styles would just complement each other really well, but it is important to note that after the upcoming Money in the Bank pay-per-view, this could be Jamie Hayter versus Becky Lynch. Now either option would be a fantastic match. Now ladies and gentlemen, here we have it. We're going to spice things up a little bit. CM Punk versus Swerve Strickland. Now I wanted to put CM Punk up against an AEW superstar that he hasn't faced before. You could do Kenny Omega versus CM Punk like I mentioned in the intro, but I have Kenny in a different match coming up, and I just think that Punk versus Swerve would be such an amazing match, especially after that amazing World Championship run that Swerve just recently had. These two in a no disqualification match specifically, their styles would just be amazing together. Punk's amazing match with Drew McIntyre, which was Hell in a Cell, no DQ. Swerve's amazing match with Hangman Adam Page, the Texas Death Match, no DQ. These two with weapons involved and whatever, you know, this match would just, it could steal the show. This would be a great matchup for the fantasy card. Now, I really don't think I have to explain this one. Two of the most athletic big men in wrestling history. One of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Samoa Joe, versus one of the greatest current wrestlers of all time. I would honestly say Jacob Fatu. He has a huge future in the WWE, and this match is for the United States Championship. Can you imagine how good this match would be? So this will be a dream match for a lot of people. They did wrestle once at NXT Great American Bash, however that was the only time, and ever since then Io Sky has just developed into this huge superstar, way bigger than she ever was in NXT. Now obviously Io Sky is the current Women's World Heavyweight Championship, and Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks in the WWE, is the current AEW TBS Champion. This is a non-title match, but it would just be such a great matchup for the show. This is the Kenny Omega match that I have went for, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny Omega versus Randy Orton. Now I know this will spark some discussion. As I said, I have been trying to be a bit different with these fantasy matches, as most people would probably book Kenny Omega versus AJ Styles or Kenny Omega versus CM Punk, but I think that Randy Orton versus Omega would just be insanely good. Two of the very best at the top of their game currently. It would make for an insane matchup between the two legends. Now Kenny Omega is arguably the best wrestler in the world, and he's been considered that for a very long time, since like at least 2016, 2017, Kenny Omega could be considered as the best wrestler in the world. and also Randy Orton could be considered the greatest wrestler of all time. Now, I know that is probably true in a lot of people's tier lists as well, so just putting these two together on this show would be nothing short of incredible, to be honest. And here is, folks, your Night 1 main event. Now, I didn't want to put any championships in the main event match because, just to kind of avoid some form of bias, which is why I had Moxley and Rollins opening the show. But yeah, Bryan Danielson versus Gunther. Now, whenever I am asked personally what I think would be the biggest dream match possible nowadays, it would be this match. Bryan obviously had his sort of retirement at the end of last year, but he keeps saying never say never. He's not fully retired. There's been talks that he will come back for one match here and there. So, I mean, in the real world, if Gunther ever left the WWE or if Bryan ever decided to leave AEW, this match could be a possibility. And honestly, I would love if this match could happen in real life. But in Fantasyland, this match is happening. And that's why it's my main event. I 100% truthfully, genuinely believe that if this match happened in real life, it would be in the conversation as the greatest match of all time. It would be up there with The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, like 100%. This match on this fantasy card would be the perfect closer to Night 1. Now on to Night 2 in Wembley Stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, the John Cena Farewell Tour runs through AEW, and I know that a lot of people are kind of upset that the John Cena Retirement Tour won't feature a matchup with Edge, because Edge is arguably John Cena's biggest rival after they've done the John Cena Randy Orton match and hopefully the upcoming John Cena CM Punk match. It's just a shame that Edge isn't involved in the Farewell Tour. Now, once again, Fantasyland. Here we have it, opening Night 2 for the WWE Undisputed Championship, John Cena versus Edge. So originally I was thinking about putting the TNT champion Adam Cole against the Intercontinental champion Dominic Mysterio, but then, as I will go into further detail probably at the end of this video, there's so many omissions on this card. I have missed out so many big wrestlers that I just couldn't fit everyone on. So I thought, why not make this a fatal 4-way match to get at least 2 other good guys in that should deserve to be on this show. So we have 2 from AEW, Adam Cole and Brody King, and 2 from WWE, Dominic Mysterio and Penta, in a fatal 4-way matchup. So next up we have Takeshita versus Sami Zayn in a one-on-one contest. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this match I just think would be a masterpiece. It just gives me like Sami Zayn NXT TakeOver vibes, Sami Zayn classic NXT TakeOver matchups, and I think this would just be a great addition to the card. Now, before I made this video, I just recently watched AEW's Double or Nothing, and that Anarchy in the Arena match was amazing. So I knew that I wanted to have a Stadium Stampede match involved. So here we have Team AEW versus Team WWE. Now on Team WWE, we have Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, which is the real life duo right now, just not with Seth Rollins. We also have Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez. Now, the reason I've got Roxanne Perez in there is due to the current Judgment Day situations going on. It seems like Finn Balor is trying to kind of weasel Roxanne into the group and get rid of Liv Morgan, so I feel like that will happen. And then on the other side for Team AEW, we have the Ops, Powerhouse Hobbs and Katsuyori Shibata, teaming up with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, the Hurt Syndicate, as well as their female teammate, Willow Nightingale. Now, this match, I would probably have an MJF involvement somehow, because I do feel bad not having an MJF match on the card, but he's with his Hurt Syndicate now, so he could get involved in this one. But yeah, this would be our big no DQ match for Night 2, just like Night 1 we have Swerve versus CM Punk. So now, what match do you put on after a Stadium Stampede? Well, how about this? How about 2 of the greatest wrestlers in the world, right? So everyone is talking about a potential Will Ospreay vs AJ Styles match at the moment. Now, as I said at the start of the video, I'm trying to be a bit different. So I think that AJ Styles vs Hangman Adam Page would honestly be just as good and maybe better. The match that Hangman just had with Will Ospreay by winning the Owen Hart Cup final, everyone's talking about it being one of the greatest matches of all time, and I don't need to talk about AJ Styles being one of the best of all time. So I think if you put these two together, it would honestly create magic. Now with the AEW Women's Championship on the line, I have went for Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley in a battle of the Aussies. So we have two of the most successful women's wrestlers of all time, quite frankly, going up against each other, and two of the best in the world today within their respective companies. Now this would be a fantastic match and truly worthy of being in Wembley Stadium. Toni Storm versus Rhea. Now here we have it, the penultimate matchup in this WWE AEW showcase. We have Kazuchika Okada defending the Continental Championship against Cody Rhodes. Now yes, these two have fought once before, but Cody and Okada have very different characters now. Okada is one of the biggest heels in AEW, and Cody Rhodes is obviously the face of the company. Now this match was amazing before, back in the day, and I can only imagine that this would be a great match once again. I would love to see these two run it back. Now yes, I am the exact same as all of you. I would love nothing more than to witness Will Ospreay face AJ Styles. But for the sake of this video, I think the main event has to be the two respective biggest names in each promotion. Obviously WWE, the biggest name they have is Roman Reigns. That's undisputable, to be honest. AEW, I really do think it's Will Ospreay. Now this match would be phenomenal. No pun intended there, with no AJ Styles. Roman Reigns is a great wrestler. He gets a lot of slack for no reason. He consistently puts on good matches. And then obviously Will Ospreay, a lot of people will say he's the best in the world. Right now, it's certainly arguable. But yeah, can't deny that this match would be a great matchup and just a superb ending to what would be an amazing WWE AEW presentation. So once again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the video. I am so interested to know your thoughts about these matchups in the comments below, so please let me know what you think and what other matchups would you put against each other. But yeah, thank you once again, please leave a like and subscribe, and goodbye.